This is a public health crisis that we have. The more porous the policy, the longer we're going to be doing this, the more people are going to die, and the more likely our healthcare system cannot meet the needs of people.
We have done an incredible job. We're going to continue. It's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle, it will disappear.
1,000 Americans died of the coronavirus.
Story time. So me and my friends decided to go to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. If you don't know what Cedar Point is, it's a great amusement park with so many different rides, so much going on. It's a huge, nice park. I've been to plenty of times when I was younger. I've been on every ride except the Dragster. The Dragster is a really fast ride. It's like really quick, but the line is always like an hour or too long. So it was an exciting part of my day. We got into the park very early when it first opened. I was able to get on the Dragster. That was an amazing part. As soon as we got into there, I instantly regretted it. I wanted to get out because I did not feel safe. I was scared for my life. If I could show you these pictures of my face, and people were behind me smiling, yay, happy, and I'm sitting there fearing for my life. It looked like the wind was kicking my ass. I told myself, no, it couldn't get worse than that, right? It couldn't get worse than that. That ride was very fast and whatnot. But I went to this other ride, which I thought it was the safest, probably one of the safest rides to get onto. But it's a ride with it's like a huge swing that just spins you in a circle. It takes you really high. You get to see the whole park. It spins you in a circle. Right? I click mine and it comes down as far as I can. I push it. It's locked in, but I'm just sitting there. So I hear one of the announcers say, check 52. I'm 52. So I'm looking okay, they check my friend, they push his down, and when they push his down, he get an extra click. They clicked it one more time. Mine, I'm sitting there, I'm going, all right, she says, take it down, something. She pushed it down, she giving us all the effort she can, and I don't hear another click. I didn't hear another click. So what threw me off was that I asked her, I looked her straight in the eyes, and I asked her, am I good? Am I good to go? And everything? She turns around, looks at me like, and walks away. I instantly started panicking. Because you don't do that. You don't, you reassure that I'm safe. You don't just walk away and be like, that's just how it goes. No. And I get back down, and I look her in the eyes and I say, why would you say that to me? Why would you do that to me? And then she gonna look at me and was like, but it was funny, huh?
Just outside of the town that I grew up in, there's an abandoned factory. And it's been abandoned for decades. Kids have been going out there for years to do drugs, tag buildings, and just hang out with their friends, sometimes have bonfires and stuff. In high school, we used to go out there just to explore, look around, find all the tunnels and stuff. And there was one night we were having a bonfire at my mom's house. She lived not too far away. It wasn't that long of a walk, maybe 20 or 30 minutes. And we're like, it's 10 o'clock at night, 10:30, something like that. We're like, okay, let's go for a walk to the cement factory. Now, 2 of us out of the group had been there. The other 3 hadn't really. One of them might have been there once or twice. The other 2 had never been there, had never been to our town. And so we're going around, we're walking around, we go on the little bridge that goes above the pond. One of the guys that was with us was really scared of heights. He crawled across it. I remember that. It was pitch black outside. We were using our flashlights on our phones. So we're like, okay, let's go look around in the tunnels, you know. It's kind of creepy, it's nighttime, summertime, like there could be anybody out there. So we go over to one of the buildings that has these 2 long tunnels behind it that you can go down into. They're just tall enough that you can walk through them comfortably. And we get there and we're looking around. We're about to go down. It's like a slope into the tunnel, and at the bottom is a rolled up blanket, and it appears like it looks like there's a dead body in it, like it looked like a body dump. And we're all just standing there freaking out, or like our phone flashlights on it, like we can't see anything else. And I remember just being like, you touch it, no, you go touch it, like you go touch it, like we're gonna like try to figure out like if there's actually a person in there. So my friend's like, okay, I'm just gonna throw a rock. And so we throw a rock at it. Turns out it was just a blanket rolled up on the ground looking like a dead body. Like who does that and leaves it in the woods in the middle of the night in an abandoned factory?
Right now, the fear I have, it's about death. People are dying every day, and the bad thing, we can't go to the funerals. But I know it's hard for people who's losing their loved one. But I think what we need to do, we need to stay strong and don't stress ourselves. Just praise the Lord, because we are not sick today. I'm not sick, maybe you're not sick, maybe your parents are sick or your cousins are sick, but be strong for them. Try to be strong for them. It's not easy time, but we need to be strong for others, and we need to stay safe. Try to not do everything. Try not to do everything by stress. Just take time and take a deep breath. Let it go. Yeah, do what you can. If you have a lot of homework and maybe you're tired, just take like 2 hours, relax, take a nap. When you wake up, try to do your homework. You'll be fine. Yeah. Or if you don't want to stay in the house, if you are tired of staying in the house, maybe you are home by yourself like me, go outside, go to the park, relax, put your mask on and walk for 1 hour, exercise. That's what been helping me during this time. I'm trying to exercise every day. I also yesterday went to the park for 1 hour. That was great for the first time. And try to cook new meal. Maybe you don't like to cook. Do things you don't like to do. Call your siblings, the one you've been not talking for a long time. Call them. Maybe you've been not talking because you fight for something. Even doesn't matter. Just call them. Tell them how you love them. Spend time with your family, because you don't know where you're gonna be tomorrow. It's time to think for ourselves. It's time to think about tomorrow. It's time to think about the life we have today. It's not about tomorrow. Just enjoy the day you have today, because tomorrow you don't know what's gonna happen and you don't know where you're gonna be. So I think that was my message, and I hope you stay strong and safe.
I work for a company that fortunately was able to keep working. We make parts and fittings for different other companies that are still making product that can be considered essential. I feel like I'm fortunate that I still can go into work. I know there's so many people out there who have lost their jobs. So I'm fortunate that I can still bring home a paycheck.
As a senior, it's sad to not be able to finish out the school year, and go to senior prom, and like have the last couple months with my teachers and my friends that I thought I was gonna have.
It's made things at work a lot more complicated. We have so many more rules in place. We have limited workforce.
Graduation's gonna have to be pushed back, and my grad party's gonna have to be pushed back.
It's really made it a lot more challenging to manage our business and schedule our day because of the uncertainties.
I'm missing all of my dance classes. Those were 3 days a week.
I see that our world is really going to change. I see this having very lasting effects. I look back to having lived through 9/11 and seeing how it changed people's attitudes about our world and things we did. And I think about how this is kind of the next big thing. It'll change our attitude.
I think maybe we all might be a little bit more cautious.
It's quite interesting to watch our country and our world now because we're all fighting the same battle. I've never in my lifetime seen our country or our world come together and everybody fighting the same battle at the same time. I feel that everybody as individual has to take their own personal precautions of washing your hands, staying clean, keeping some distance.
It's important that we stay quarantined and just do what we can to help the people who are actually working and being exposed and stuff like that.
So my brother, who lost his leg 50 years ago due to a train accident, he was 8 years old at the time. He and my older brother and 6 other friends decided to go to the youth center to play basketball that day. And instead of going around to Lake Michigan Drive and going across the train tracks, he decided to go over the train tracks. So there were 5 or 6 of them, and most of them, the kids climbed over the track, the cars, and there was my brother David, and my brother Bruce was behind him. And as David was crossing over, the train started up and started to move, which then triggered him to fall underneath the railroad track, and it cut off his leg right about here. I recall being at home with my mom, and somehow the sirens all went off, the fire trucks. I remember my mom grabbing me and saying, "Go to the neighbor's house." So I went to the neighbor's house, and the neighbors had heard about it already and took me in, and there I was being watched by the neighbors while all this was going on. I recall it being crazy. It was just a real emotional time, not knowing what was going on and hearing bits and pieces from the other kids that were in the neighborhood that were there to witness part of it. All I knew then was David had lost his leg, but it didn't stop him from doing things. He moved on to being a great wheelchair basketball player. He played in the Olympics. He did the wheelchair race, the Grand Rapids Riverbank Run wheelchair race, and won. He's just accomplished many, many, many things in athletics. It never slowed him down. And I think he will continue to be the greatest brother I have.
Can you say that?
What about Uncle Bruce?
Well, my other brother is pretty cool too.
A quick story that I have was last summer when I was building my house, not my personal house, a house that I was flipping, and I did this with my buddy, and it was kind of crazy how it all happened, but this house was like a huge pain. There was so much to it. We've done everything from framing it to residing it, all the electrical, HVAC, plumbing. We rebuilt the floors. We've re-roofed it. It was like a complete dump when we first got it. And we probably have about 700 hours each into it, I think we're at now. But it's kind of crazy when you think about it, but some of the times that we've had it's been fun. We've had a good time doing it for the most part, other than kicking down ceilings in the attic with jeans and a sweatshirt and masks because we didn't want to get insulation all over ourselves and breathe that in. From like demo was pretty fun for like the first 2 days, and then it just got like a ton and it was exhausting, but other than that, I think it's been a good experience, and that's kind of my short little story on what I did last summer. So.
When I was young, and I'm talking like really young, my family would go see our extended family that was over on my dad's side. And we would do that pretty often. It would be anywhere from a 2-hour long drive up north or a day or two long trip to go down to Florida. There was no in between. But one of these times that we had gone, we had our neighbors take care of our dog, Shadow. She was a German Shepherd and a little small for the type of dog that she was, but we still loved her nonetheless. Basically, when we had gotten back, there was something really important to me that was missing, and that was my Nintendo GameCube. I was getting really into video games at the time, and so it really bummed me out. And there was something like really suspicious about that. Like, first of all, like no one should have been able to get into our house outside of our neighbors. And it turned out that our neighbor, they had their teenage son take care of our dog, which was fine. He was old enough to do it. But suspiciously, the games that were gone from my GameCube were ones that would appeal to a teenager, and the rest of them were just left there. And, of course, my console was gone. Later on, as a complete surprise to me, my grandpa had bought a brand new GameCube console for me. It wasn't just any normal GameCube either. It was the limited edition Pokemon XD GameCube. It's just like the Platinum versions of the console with its silver coloring, except this one has a cool picture of Shadow Lugia on the top, which is the cover character for the game. At the time, I didn't know too much about Pokemon besides the fact that my older cousins were really into it. Little did I know that owning this console and this game would lead me down the path of falling in love with the game series. And that means buying all of these. Suffice to say, it had become one of my favorites, even though that I had no clue what was going on when I was about 6 years old. All I knew is that I really liked this Pokemon, which is Umbreon. It's still my favorite to this day. As much as it sucked to lose my video game console back then, it was a blessing in disguise, even though I don't really remember too much. Otherwise, it would have been much longer before I would be exposed to Pokemon properly. And I may not have made friends with certain people because of it. I have many memories from elementary school through middle school of playing these games with my friends, discussing it and strategizing all these things, getting way too deep into it. And even to this day, it's still a huge part of my life. Who knows where I would be if my GameCube didn't get stolen from me back then.
Hey everyone, today I'm telling the story of high school woodshop. And my first impression with the class was on the first day. I came into the room and my teacher, who was missing 2 fingers, had on a pair of work gloves, and he proceeded to take a pair of scissors and chop off the fingers he didn't need because he didn't have them in the first place. That was a good first impression, let me tell you. And from there, the first class I had with him seemed pretty normal. You know, we made these chess boards, and that was the final project. That was about it for that class, but things would kind of escalate in later classes, let's say. The second class I had with this guy in woodshop, we had to make clocks for our final project. Here's an example. This was my clock. It's turned out pretty well, I think. I like it. But that year, a lot of strange things happened, you know. This is where it gets a little interesting. We had some girl like chop off part of 2 of her fingers, and she happened to be like the star on the bowling team, and she went on to win the championship. There's a lot of news articles about it. Later on that same year, I had my own little accident involving a powerful belt sander and my fingernails. I can show that on screen as well, but it's a little graphic, so keep in mind. There were a couple other minor injuries, like kids getting hit by flying wood because the machines would just eject them at Mach 7. For my final project in that class, I made this hockey stick rack and designed that from scratch myself as well. So I was kind of proud of that. And that's my high school woodshop experience. I thought it was a great class to experience, except for the fact that I got injured a little bit, but that's besides the point.
Why is this quarantine so boring? I don't even know what to do. Maybe there's something in my room. Come on, there has to be something under here. Oh, what's that? Oh. Whoa. We are gonna watch some Star Wars. This is gonna be way better than sitting and staring at the ceiling, so let's do that for sure. See, Star Wars has never disappointed me before, so this has to be better than anything. Hi, are you ready to get started to work out today? Are you kidding me? What kind of insane person records over Star Wars? I don't know, maybe it'll be after this. Let's get going. And now run. Now run. Now run. Now run. Run. Faster. You're gonna get caught. Run, or you'll end up like my ex-wife, Barbara. Now hide. Now hide. Now hide. Now hide. 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 Now hide. Now hide. Now hide. Now hide. Now look over your shoulder. 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 You better look behind you. Whoa, aren't I tired? Don't forget to drink your water. It's really good. I love water. Okay, that's all we have for today. Tune in next week. If you can. Bye now. Okay, we're getting rid of that. That's going in the garbage right now. Nope. No idea what this is. I'm done.
Coming soon to own on video cassette.
This is day 3 of the search for the Canis lupus that was reported here. No sign of it as of yet. This is day 5. The guy is still chasing. He attacked me. I can still.
It was reporting that her body has been found, but clearly so many answers and so many questions and not a lot of answers.
What? I'm sorry, Mom. I shouldn't have gone on this trip. It's just I wanted good stuff for my thesis.
Are you a fan of disgusting Easter candy? Oh! Peeps. Peeps. You know what they stand for? Peeps equal extremely poisonous stuff. Alright, let's look at these little disgusting creatures. First thing I notice, gluten-free and fat-free. Well, if that's not a thing in these, then what is? Now let's go to the back. Serving size, 4 chicks. Well, I'm quarantined and I can't have chicks here, so I can't have these. Not fair. It's 110 calories, 0% of a peep is saturated fat, 0% of a peep is sodium, and added sugar is 50%. So what's the other 50%? Rubber? Number on here for the quality people. We should give that a call real quick. 1 8 8 6 4 5 3 4 5 3. Yeah, hi. I was asking where the other 50% of your peep is, because I can do math, and when you take 100 minus a 50, you're still left with 50. And I see that they're soft, so what do you guys put in there? Rubber? You guys put rubber in there? Awesome, that's what I thought too. Let's just take a look at the rubberized little chickens. Oh yeah, that's good rubber content. Oh, I'd say maybe like 50%. Alright, little chickie, we got you out of your cage now. What the heck? What is this, like cheese puff powder? Oh my, oh my! You go back to where you were. Ugh. Man, all this rubber has really got me sleepy. I guess we'll take a nap. Don't look at me with those eyes. You want me to just try it? Maybe it'll be different this time? Okay, fine. Oh. I hereby announce Peeps, by far the worst Easter candy ever.